Parker Schnabel has been through a lot. He went from being a teenager on Gold Rush to one of the biggest names in gold mining, collecting an amazing 63,000 ounces of gold worth almost $100 million. But his never-ending quest for gold has cost him dearly just when it looked like he was about to make his biggest score yet. Unexpected events happened that put millions of dollars and a whole season at risk. Now, as Parker tries to reach his goal of a $25 million haul, he's facing mounting debt, running out of time, and the threat of total collapse. Will this be his last season? You might think gold mining is something. It sounds like something from the Wild West, but it's actually happening right now, and one of the best places to see it is on the hit Discovery Channel show Gold Rush. This show takes you deep into the rough and tumble world of gold miners as they chase that shiny fortune. Most of the action takes place in Chile, Yukon, in Dawson City, Canada, where rush fever is still strong, and Parker Schnabel is one of the biggest names to come out of the show. Parker has been with Gold Rush since the beginning in 2010. He was only a teenager at the time, and he only appeared in a few episodes that first season, but it didn't take long for him to become a fan favorite. You see, Parker isn't your average actor. As a normal miner, he's a fiery one with a short fuse and intense focus. He has a reputation for being tough as nails, but Parker has a lot more going on down below the surface. There are things going on behind the scenes that you might not know about. Let's start with Parker's success. It's no secret that he's dug up a lot of gold over the years. In fact, his net worth is thought to be around $10 million as of 2020. Now, $10 million might sound like enough money for most people to retire on. Instead of relaxing and enjoying life, Parker puts that money back into his mining operations and is always looking for ways to make his equipment bigger and better. In an interview with Maxim, Parker said that he doesn't like to spend money on flashy things like boats, fancy cars, or mansions. He joked that most of his money goes to his big, expensive sandbox. Parker, the thrill of the dig is more important to him than the money itself. Of course, Parker isn't the only one working in the mine. He has a whole crew with him. We don't know how much they make, but when the gold is flowing, they're doing pretty well. But that's not all. About the money, Parker is also trying to carry on the business legacy of his grandfather, John Schnabel. John was a big deal on Gold Rush in the early seasons because he ran the Big Nugget mine in Alaska. He was a kind and wise man who taught Parker a lot about mining and life in general. But John died peacefully in his sleep in 2016 at the age of 96, Parker shared. During that time, he thanked fans for their support and said it was great that everyone could know his grandfather, even if it was through TV. After John quit in season 2, Parker really took the lead on the show. Taking over the mine at such a young age wasn't easy, but Parker was ready. He didn't just want to follow in his grandfather's footsteps. He wanted to lead the mining industry. Parker took his business to the next level by using better technology, hiring skilled workers, and just plain hard work. He turned Big Nugget Mine into a huge success story. But being the boss comes with a lot of problems, especially in such a dangerous industry. Parker had his fair share of. People have been shot at by angry locals and come face to face with wild animals in the remote wilderness. It's not just the gold that makes this way of life dangerous, it's also the rough terrain, the unpredictable weather, and the constant pressure to keep finding more gold. Despite all of this, Parker has no plans to slow down. Thanks to his grandfather, John Schnabel, Parker had money saved up for college. John had made a lot of money in mining by the time Parker was born in 1994, and he made sure Parker wouldn't have to worry about paying for a good education. But Parker had other plans. When John retired and gave up the family business, Parker had a big choice to make. He could have used that. He could either use the money to go to college and study, or he could put it all into mining and take a big chance on finding gold. Parker, being the brave and ambitious person that he is, chose the second option. He put all of his college money into mining equipment and supplies, ready to dig up his future from the ground instead of from books. For Parker, it wasn't just about finding gold, it was about building a way of life. Parker took a risk early on in season 2 of Gold Rush, and it paid off. He and his crew found 34 ounces of gold, which was worth about $55,000. It wasn't a huge fortune, but it was enough to make a difference, and it showed Parker that he had made the right choice. After that, he never looked back. Mining became not only his job, but also his whole life. Now, when most people think of gold mining, they probably picture huge chunks of gold buried in the ground, but that's not exactly what Parker does. In a 2017 Facebook Live, Parker answered a lot of questions from fans that revealed some interesting facts about his life. When asked about the biggest nugget he'd ever found, he said it was only about a quarter of an ounce and was worth about $14,000 to $5,000. That may not sound like a lot, but gold nuggets that size are actually pretty rare these days. Even though things have changed a lot since the 1980s, when Parker's grandfather was mining in Hannes, Alaska, he found 3.5-ounce nuggets that were very common. Parker has still found a lot of gold, even if the nuggets themselves aren't as big. Parker's mining life hasn't always been easy. One of the hardest things he's had to deal with was Gold Rush was based on a spin-off series called Parker's Trail, which followed Parker and his team as they retraced the old Klondike Trail. The series featured familiar faces like Rick Ness and Carla Ann, as well as cameraman James LVL, who had worked with Parker for a long time. However, Parker and James got into a lot of trouble during this journey, as Parker admitted in an interview with Inquisitor. Parker said that he and James didn't get along at all while filming. He called it a clash of personalities that became a big problem when they were stuck together on the trail. According to Parker, he and James had a lot of fights, and their relationship hasn't really recovered since the show ended. They haven't talked much since then. Parker's anger was clear when he said this. Some of the things James did really bothered Parker. This kind of drama is normal for Parker because he has a fiery personality and a short fuse. Working in such tough conditions only adds to his stress. Despite these problems, Parker keeps going because mining is a dangerous business, and Parker knows that not everything you meet along the way will work out. Even with all the problems, Parker still has some very special memories, especially ones with his grandfather. When asked on Facebook Live about his favorite memory, Parker quickly said the time he spent learning how to mine from John. For Parker, it wasn't just about learning the ropes, it was also about the bond they shared during the early seasons of Gold Rush. It showed that they were really close, which made it even more heartbreaking when JN died in 2016. Parker has said many times that keeping relationships alive is one of the hardest things about his life. In an interview with Distractive, he said that many of his old friends have moved on. Mining takes up most of his time, but it's clear that his grandfather still has an impact on him. Parker's commitment to mining has always been the focus, but his personal life has also gotten a lot of attention over the years. One of the most talked about parts of his story is his relationship with Ashley Lee, an Australian veterinarian. The two met in 2016 and seemed to click right away. Ashley even joined Parker in Alaska, jumping right into the Season 8 of Gold Rush showed that she wasn't just there to cheer him on, she was also helping out around the camp and working with the crew. Fans really liked seeing this softer side of Parker as he and her went through the ups and downs of life as a gold miner. Ashley wasn't on the show after Season 9, so it was clear that they were no longer together. In an episode titled Win Big or Die Trying in 2018, Parker talked about the breakup. He admitted that he hadn't made the relationship a priority because mining had always been his main focus, and he hadn't put enough effort into his personal life. Parker said Ashley deserves a lot. Even better, it was a rare moment of vulnerability for Parker, who usually seems very serious all the time. Ashley was fun and added a lighthearted vibe to the show, but Parker's love of mining proved to be too much for her to handle after their breakup. Parker's romantic life became. Parker's personal life is pretty private, even though he's famous, which made fans even more interested in him. Then there was Gold Rush Parker's Trail, a spin-off show where Parker went on new mining adventures around the world. In the fourth season, Parker went to Australia and teamed up with Tyler Mahoney, a young Australian gold miner and star of Aussie Gold Hunters Tyler. Parker grew up in a family of miners, which made the two a natural fit for each other. They looked for gold together in the harsh Australian outback, where they had to deal with everything from sweltering heat to snake-infested land. It wasn't long before fans started to wonder if they were dating instead of just looking for gold. Fans were hoping that Parker had found a new love interest in Tyler because they seemed to get along well on screen and both loved mining, which made them a fun duo to watch. However, as the season went on, it became clear that they were just friends and business partners. Parker and Tyler didn't hint at anything going on off camera, and there were no signs of romance on the show. Tyler even said on Instagram that their relationship was only professional, and Parker's focus was still on the gold, not a new girlfriend. Parker's love life, or lack of it. His demanding career has always come first, but fans wonder if he'll ever settle down. He's only 29, so he has plenty of time to find the right person. But mining is unpredictable, and sometimes even the best-laid plans can fall apart in the face of nature's fury. This happened with the Wolf Cut, a high-stakes mining area that Parker hoped would be a game-changer for his. After putting hundreds of thousands of dollars into this Alaskan claim, he had some early success with 108 ounces of gold being found in leftover tailings. But the real prize was thought to be deeper in the unexplored land, which could hold over 2,000 ounces of gold worth more than $3 million. For Parker, the Wolf Cut was more than just another pit, it was a turning point in his career. It took 2 months to reach the pay layer, and Parker knew that everything depended on this site. But things went badly quickly, and just when it looked like they were about to strike it rich, disaster struck. A flood turned the cut into a lake, putting months of hard work at risk. Parker had seen rising water before and knew that Mother Nature doesn't care about ambition or investment. If she wants to claim a piece of land, she'll take it. His crew did everything they could to fight back against the flood. Pumps were turned on around the clock, working to get rid of millions of gallons of water. They were able to get 3 pumps going and remove 10 million gallons in 24 hours. But it wasn't enough. Water kept coming in from a hidden mine shaft that Parker had hit while digging. Parker had been in tough situations before, but this was a whole new level. It felt like all of their hard work was being sucked away by the rising tide. It was a make-or-break moment, and the season would be over if they couldn't get to the gold in time. The crew worked non-stop to clear the flooded Mackay and build walls to keep the water out. But time was running out. Parker knew that leaving the Wolf Cut could be very bad for business because so much money had already been put into it. He couldn't just walk away, though, because he needed this site to succeed for his bottom line and for the future of his business. The flood wasn't just a setback, it was a wake-up call. When Parker returned to the site after being away, he found a muddy mess instead of the clean paved dirt he had hoped for. It was a crushing moment that tested his resolve as both a leader and a miner. Parker wasn't going to let the wolf cut fail completely, even though there was only 4 feet of muck between them and possible riches. As the wolf cut disaster's dust or mud settled, Parker turned his attention to the future. The stakes seemed to get higher as he prepared for season 15 of Gold Rush. Parker is in for another tough set of challenges, as the new season is expected to have record-breaking gold prices and $40 million in possible paid dirt waiting for him in the Yukon. This season isn't just about hitting big numbers, it's also about staying alive. Parker has just 6 years left on his license, and his claim at Dominion Creek holds an estimated $200 million worth of gold. With that much time left, the pressure is on to produce a record-breaking 10-ounce season worth an. He's made an estimated $25 million, but he's also in a lot of debt, and there's not much room for error. One bad move or surprise loss, and everything he's worked for could fall apart. For someone who has already gotten over 63,000 ounces of gold worth more than $98 million, the idea of it's unthinkable to lose everything. The latest news about season 15 suggests that things won't go smoothly. In the teaser, it's shown that one miner will fail, putting everything they've worked for at risk. As Parker's journey goes on, viewers will see him face not only the ground below him, but also the huge pressure that comes with mining on this scale. With so much at stake, he'll have to make quick decisions, balance risks, and rely on both strategy and luck. Mining has always been about being strong, and Parker's story shows that more than ever. He stays determined to beat the odds even when the ground below him turns to mud. This is what keeps Parker coming back every season. Mining is an addiction that runs through his veins. It's not just about the gold, it's about the thrill of the hunt, the challenge of the unknown, and the satisfaction of turning dirt into fortune. As the new season starts, fans will be. People are closely watching to see if Parker can reach his biggest goal yet, or if the harsh conditions of the Yukon will finally get the best of him. With huge investments, unexpected turns, and the constant risk of going bankrupt, Parker's journey is far from over in the world of Gold Rush. Victory is never guaranteed for Parker Schnabel. The stakes are high. It's either boom or bust, and he's ready to bet it all one more time.